Hello and good morning, all my lovely astrolites. I hope you guys are enjoying your 3 day weekend still, even though it is Saturday. But tonight is Crown Jewel, so I'm so stoked about that. But that's going to be later on as I'm working, unfortunately. But I'll be able to catch at least some of the action before I start my shift. But anyway, so this is basically a remake the video I had shot last night. I played it back, and I was like, I, it doesn't really feel like me, so I'm just gonna redo it. But basically, what I was saying yesterday was, if you had, well, let's say biblical relations with somebody, don't keep them around, even just as a friend, because if you end up um, being in a real relationship and you keep that person around, that's gonna make your SO very uncomfortable, and you wanna do well, right? So the first step to that is getting rid of all the people you have slept with in your past. That way you can avoid any intrusions, any altercations, whatever. Just you don't want to have any of that. You just don't. Just trust me on this. And how I was I'm at the park again, so moving my arm about. I really got to get a selfie stick. But anyway, you remember how I was saying how I met your mother? Homeboy was flipping out on his best friend because y- you know he's with somebody else, right? But here's the problem with that. He was still hanging around Robin, who was the woman he has slept with. And they mentioned this the day at the wedding. They're basically having these dream scenarios of how the weddings go, how the not the wedding, but the uh basically the wedding dinner. Uh, I can't remember the name at this time. I haven't had my coffee yet, but basically, you guys know where I'm going with this. They were having these scenarios about what would happen, whether it's after or during the wedding, and the bride to be, was explaining why she didn't want to have Robin at the wedding, and she wasn't being unfair. So basically, she was saying things like, well, she wasn't saying it, but it was in the scenario. Basically, Robin would come up to her and say, "Your husband used to do this and that to me 3 times a day." And I was just cracking up. I was like, "Oh my god, that would actually." I mean, it was a little over exaggerated, but the point stays intact. Like, you don't want somebody at your wedding who your groom or your bride, whomever, had physical relations with. You don't want that. So the only way you can live happily ever after, it's like I said, living happily ever after requires sacrifice. And in case you run into the person you had relations with, you got to tell them, look, um, we were good. We were good at one point, but being that we knew each other in the biblical sense, I don't think this is gonna be cool and everything. You just, and we can't be friends anymore. Like, we can't we can't know each other, because uh I don't want my spouse to feel uncomfortable. And if they say, okay, you know what, you're right. We knew each other more than we were supposed to. I understand you're trying to make things work with your spouse, so you don't have to hear from me ever again. If they say something like that, then it, in fact, they are a true friend to you. Like, well, in spirit anyway, because they're basically saying goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful life. Without all the sarcasm and the being facetious sort of thing. But if you tell them that and you're just like, you're getting rid of me, I thought we were chill. I thought we were cool with each other. You want to get rid of me because of what your spouse said? If they do anything like that, they're showing you their true colors. They're proving your spouse right. They are showing you the precise reason of why you should not interact with them anymore. But if you knew somebody who was chill about it, who was like, you know what, say no more, I understand, I appreciate you being honest with me, you won't have to hear from me ever again. It's hard to have those conversations, but they need to be said. Oh, and especially before I forget this part, um, if they know you are engaged, if they know you are prepared to be married, and they ask you for even a single red cent, doesn't matter if it's one, five, or 100, immediately drop them. And this comes more from the ladies. Yeah, I'm putting these ladies on blast. Usually, I don't. I'm usually more for it, more for the ladies, but you know what? Some of you be trifling. I'm just gonna say it. Some of you be trifling. You want to ask an engaged man for a few bucks doing this whole damsel in distress routine when you in fact know that it is inappropriate to ask an engaged man for a few dollars. I don't care if it's for the bus, uh, get yourself a Happy Meal, whatever. I don't care. It's highly inappropriate. And your lady has every right to be upset over that. You cannot be doing that. Do not ask another woman's man because you're not truly their friend. You're just somebody because, okay, let me see if I can put it like this. If you have had an FWB or just whatever, somebody you slept with, and that they feel entitled, and that's actually going to be my next video, the difference between being privileged and being entitled. It's going to be a little bit named differently, but anyway, they feel entitled because you gave them some. And they're just like, oh, he's not going to mind. I already gave him my cookie. No, 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 no. No, boo-boo. We're not going to play like that. Trust me, from personal experience, I had to learn the hard way. Which is why I make these videos, you guys. I want you to make the proper decisions. I don't want you to have to make the same mistakes I have. Because I know a couple of you have and you're not quite sure. This is why I'm explaining it to you. I don't want you guys to have to go through that, especially if you're in a real relationship and you want to make things better for you and yours. Guys, you just gotta listen to me, all right? I know it's difficult to have these sorts of situations from people you hooked up with, but think about it. Your marriage is gonna be better. Not even a marriage. Your relationship's gonna be better for it in the long run. Get rid of these harlots. Get rid of these trollops. All they do is poison your relationship. If they can't understand how your relationship is, that that's a red flag. That's immediately dropping them off. Drop them off, drive off, don't look back. Trust me, you're gonna be the more better for it. And that's why I didn't like the whole I think her character's name was Stella. I didn't like the Stella episodes. I'm gonna be honest, because Ted was acting all brand new in that season. I'm just like, okay, this is basically Ross and Emily all over again. Like he's having to uproot everything just to make his lady happy. And it wasn't even just that. It was that fact that he got rid of Barney, who he knows is, well, basically a narcissistic sociopath. They're just disgusting, basically. But he's not always gonna be like that, you know. But anyway, I'm getting off point. He knows the type of person Barney is, and then one night with Robin, his ex, and then he's like, I don't want to be friends anymore because of what you did. I'm just like, you're gonna cut off your best friend of 7 years as opposed to the woman you've had relations with for the past year plus, and you're being with someone else. Really think about that. Yeah, I know it's messed up, right? It's like you're getting rid of your best friend for a woman who you've only known a few months. Your best friend and your ex is a grown woman. She can make her own decisions. Any one of them could have said, you know what, this is a bad idea, we shouldn't do this, but they didn't. Because this led more to just a one night stand, alright? Sorry, I'm getting my hand in the shot here. But boys and girls, you gotta learn to do better. You gotta listen to me, all right? If you're in a relationship and you're not sure what to do because you keep these so-called friends of yours around, if you slept with them, get rid of them. It's plain and simple. Especially if you're in a brand new relationship and you see a future with your guy, your gal, whomever, get rid of the person you slept with so it doesn't affect your relationship later. It's like I said, I had to learn that the hard way. I don't want you guys making the same mistakes I did. Yeah, thought I saw a squirrel or something. But you guys do not want to have a that Ted Mosby moment where you're with somebody and then you get rid of your best friend as opposed to your ex. Yeah, it is messed up. That was the most messed up season I've ever watched. I'm just like, he only did it because he had a near death experience, which is common. You know, if you're it's common when you're in a new relationship and you've only known the person a few months and you have one of those near death experiences. I get it, but you can't marry someone just based off of that, even if you've known them a few months. And before I log off, and before I forget, never invite your exes to your wedding. For one thing, it's ill mannered. Another, why would you want your ex there in the first place to see you succeed at, you know what I'm saying? You're basically inviting your past relationship to see your successful relationship, and that's really messed up. And also, this is this is pretty much the primary of it. You don't want them to take the off chance of seeing how happy you are, and then they're gonna be like, you know what, bump this. This should be my time. This should be this, that, the other. Don't invite any exes, all right? Because look here, Ted even did that, and his bride left him at the altar. Honestly, I don't feel bad about that. It sucks being left at the altar, but you invited the ex. What do you think was gonna happen? I'm just telling it like it is. I did not feel bad that he got left at the altar because he invited an ex and he was told not to because they had this conversation, right? They even she was having the conversation telling him, "Look, this is weird. I don't want this and that to happen. I want everything to go smoothly." Goes behind her back, invites the ex, gets left the altar. The ex and bride to be live happily ever after, basically. And of course, she's got kids as well. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't feel bad about Ted at this point at all. I don't even like this season based on how he was acting. That's not to say I didn't. I'm I'm getting off track once more, but you guys are getting my point here. It's like it, it sucks being left at the altar, but you invited an ex after you were specifically told not to, and that's what happens. I did not feel bad for him at that point because he was told. He was told, look, you don't invite Robin to the wedding. I don't invite Tony. We're solid. We can get married, live happily ever after. And I know people are like, Astral, you know that's TV, right? No, it happens in real life situations too. It's not just TV. Get rid of the people you slept with. Block every single woman that you feel is a threat to your relationship. Don't invite any exes to the wedding. If you follow these guidelines, your relationship will be the more better for it. Trust me on this. Don't go behind your spouse to be's back, invite the ex, and have yourself a Mosby moment. I don't want that for you guys. And I know you guys are thinking I'm heartless because I'm saying this, that, and the other. No, I'm not being heartless. I'm being true. I want you guys to follow these guidelines. Excuse me. If you don't follow these guidelines, your relationship's going to be in trouble. And you want the best for your relationship, you want the best for your spouse to be. This is the way of doing it. Follow these steps. Do better. I mean, look at me. I'm doing my best to be better. And I got rid of the women that I've had relations with. My relationship is being the stronger for it. Admittedly, I'm still having issues listening every now and again, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know what? My my lady, she's got some valid points. If I do this, that, and the other, my relationship's gonna be stronger for it, and I can just live happily ever after. We can live our lives doing the things we need to do in order to basically ride off into the sunset. Okay, everybody? Well, This has pretty much been my time. Remember, don't invite exes to the wedding. Get rid of the people you slept with. And above all, just love you and yours. Remember to share these videos to people you know, people you don't. Like, subscribe, keep the notifications turned on. Be safe, be well, and above all, be loved. I love you guys. We will talk soon. Namaste.